Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory belong to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Okakodash. Double honors unto the elders, unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect, the men that are pushing this truth in the four corners, in the highways and byways. This is Brother Yakal coming at you with another lesson. Alright, and Lord's will let it be edifying. And this lesson basically I want to touch on a couple of points, something that I was meditating on, throughout the day. Alright, and what it is idleness. Idleness and temperance and wisdom that cometh by opportunity of leisure. Alright, so I just want to touch on these points real quick, and Lord's will bring out some edification. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 33 and verse let me see where to start. Let me start at 24. It says, "Fodder a one and burdens are for the house, a bread, correction, and work for a servant." Alright, and we are servants of Yahweh Shai. Alright, we are servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, so work is something for us. You see, it says, "If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty." And you have to look at these scriptures, what's the term? Introspectively. Alright, meaning that you take it and you apply it to yourself, and you judge yourself by it. Alright, and see what's going on with these scriptures when it comes to you. Alright, so it says that, "But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty." So if you idling, throughout the day, guess what? You're gonna seek liberty. Alright, you're gonna seek to do stuff that like you have so much time. So you have to occupy yourself. And the chief thing, that you have to occupy yourself in is prophecy. You have to occupy yourself in prophecy, and Lord's will be gonna get the precept. Alright, it says, "If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck, so are tortures and torments for an evil servant." Alright, so if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, then tortures and torment will follow you. Alright, but if you're doing what you're supposed to do, the Most High gonna bless you and prosper whatever it is that you put your hand to do. Alright, so you have to be occupied, because if you're idle, you're gonna seek liberty, and the scripture gonna go on to say some more things about being idle. It says, "Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil." You see, so being idle, you're gonna find unnecessary things to do. Alright, and next thing too, when you have a lot of time on your hand, it bring wicked thoughts to your mind. One of such is, I have time, so I could do it a bit later. For example, you may get a lesson that come to your mind, and because you're idle and you have so much time on your hand, you may turn and say, "You know what, I can do this lesson tonight." But you have the time right now, why not do it now? You see, so a word of advice is to occupy it yourself. Find things to do. Otherwise, you're gonna find evil to do. You see, then you might find yourself on social media hours, if you got social media. Alright, you might find yourself, just idling, just doing nothing. Alright, or you're on YouTube watching some bullshit. Alright, so what you have to do, you have to occupy yourself. You don't have a job, seek a job. Alright, Do things to keep your mind occupied. Read, study, watch edifying videos. All right, do lessons. You see, otherwise you're going to, the scripture said it says, send him to labor. And labor is you working. All right, and we are servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and we're doing the work or the business of the Most High. All right, it says send him to work, slacker, send him to labor, that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. Set him to work as is fit for him, for if he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters. It says, but be not excessive toward any, and without discretion do nothing. All right, now this is it. All right, so now this going into another topic, right, that I want to touch on is be not excessive toward any, and without discretion do nothing. All right, so whatever you find your hand to do, all right, whatever it is, whether it be business, whether it be pleasure, whether it be you just relaxing and cooling out. The scripture say be not excessive toward any. All right, so every single thing that you do, you have to be temperate in it. Even with watching videos and studying, you still have to be temperate with it. All right, because even for example, you can't sit down 6 hours a day straight every single day watching videos. You see, you have to be temperate. All right, now I want to go to Galatians chapter 5 and verse, for matter of fact, let me get it in the my sword. Galatians chapter 5 verse 22, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. 23, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And the point that I want to get is the word temperance, right? When you look up the word, it says self-control, the virtue of one who masters his desires and passions, especially his sensual appetite. All right, so you as an individual, you need to master your desires. You need to master yourself, rather your passions. What you want. All right, to have full control over yourself. You see, yourself, your flesh rather, shouldn't have dominion over you. All right, but you have dominion over your flesh. You see, and real quick, there's a difference between discipline, all right, and self-discipline. You see, discipline, if you need someone to tell you to do something for you to get it done, you're just being disciplined because there's someone there to tell you to do it. All right, but what happens when that person is not there? You see, but self-discipline comes in, where you can hold yourself accountable. All right, where you can say, here, I need to get this thing done by this time. You see, and you go and you get it done, and if you don't get it done, you hold yourself accountable, or rather you hold yourself accountable to get it done by the time set out. And it's the same as self-control. You see, where you have that dominion over your mind, your wicked heart, to set this in place and set that in place to get things done. All right, so you on work. After work, you say, hey, I done with work for the day. You lock it off completely, and then you move. You go into the scriptures. You spend a hour and a half or 2 hours. All right, you say, all right, good. You know what, yeah, I gotta move to something else. You maybe you watch a movie or something, you see, and you watch one movie, it's an hour and a half. That's it. You lock it off. You move. You sit down and you shoot a lesson. All right, you shoot a lesson. Good. Time to get some rest. All right. That's how you have to move with discipline. All right, because it's not no time to be for matter of fact, let me get the scriptures instead of rumbling it. All right, this is Proverbs. Let me show you that it's not my word, but rather the Most High word. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1, it says, a false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. All right, so the Most High delight in a just weight. You see, the Most High delight in a just weight. All right, the Most High ain't dealing with no false balance. The Most High want you to be balanced in every single aspect of your life. See, but here's what the scriptures say. Yeah, I think there's in Ecclesiastes 7. Let me see. Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 17. It says, let me read from 16. It says, be not righteous over much, and the scripture tell you not to be over righteous. You see, because when you're being over righteous, all right, you could start thinking that you of your own self can save yourself. You gonna think that the law is it, or you're gonna be saved by the law. You're gonna start glorying in the law. All right, when you're being over righteous. You see, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? And the reason why I read the scripture is to go back to temperance. All right, because me saying that you watch videos or you study for an hour and a half or 2 hours, brothers might say, hey, that's off. All right, but the scripture tell you not to be over righteous. Yes, the spirit will move, and the spirit would have it to where you're studying 5 hours straight. All right, depending on how the spirit moves. But at the same time, you of your own self, you shouldn't be okay. You know what? I want to be on this level, on that level. So to get on this level or on that level, I gotta study 6 hours a day. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know what I mean? So what you do is to pace yourself. All right, and allow the spirit to work. The scripture tell you not to be over righteous. All right, now going back to the lesson. All right, which is basically is about temperance, is about being idle. And the wisdom that cometh by the opportunity of leisure. All right, because at this point in time, especially the time that we're coming into, you really have to make the most of the time that you have. All right, for example, we still under curfew. Places not really opening up. You can't really meet with a brother as often or as much as you want. You see, and we seeing that this place only getting worse and worse. All right, and with them announcing the new strain of the coronavirus, really and truly they could say, hey, let's lock this place down again. Let's have a worldwide curfew and lockdown again. Which they had, between probably March to about August. All right, and Bill Gates already had warned about the second wave can get everybody's attention. So we see that this play is getting worse and worse. All right, so the little time that you have, you really have to make the most of it. All right, and then by the little time I mean your free time, your leisure time. You see, so let me go into the scripture. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that had little business shall become wise. How can he get much? How can he get wisdom? Alright, the scripture tell you right there, and he that had a little business shall become wise. So a man that is occupied very little in business and uses his free time to study and to seek out wisdom, you're gonna become wise. Alright? Why? Because instead of glorying in work, glorying in money, or glorying in how to make money, you're gonna glory in the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Alright? It says, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plough, and that glorieth in the God that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose stock is of bullocks? Alright? So your mind had to be on the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. You see? And using your leisure, alright, your leisure time to really study, to get this knowledge. You see? And we see how the famine of the world is fast approaching. Alright? They've been taking down videos for no reason. And I think recently YouTube announced a new policy which states something around if a video within a year doesn't reach a certain amount of views or something, it will be taken down. Alright? And we all know that YouTube plays or messes around, with our views, with our number of our subscribers. Alright? So we know the scheme that this guy is planning. Alright? We understand what he's up to. You see? Because that's how the family of the world gonna come in. Where these videos gonna be taken down, the internet gonna shut off. Alright? And you won't have access to the knowledge. To the truth. Alright? Now, we get one more scripture. Close it out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 39 verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. Alright, which goes back to the point that I made earlier, where you have to occupy yourself. And the number one thing to occupy yourself in is prophecy. Occupy yourself in the news. Alright? Occupy yourself in what's going on in these times, in the scriptures. Keep up to date. Because otherwise you're going to be caught, with your pants down. Alright, so Lord's will that this quick lesson was edifying. I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of great stone once again. Shalom.